Okay, here we go. Yep, that's the rev limiter right there. I got there quick. Let me tell you how I got involved with this Wheel Dyno Works ECU Flash. I was messing around on YouTube and found Nate talking about the ECU Flash on the stock bike and how, you know, what a change it made, that it made the bike more rideable and had torque and the usable range and blah, blah. I thought, wow, that looks great. Then I start seeing, you know, he's changed the exhaust, he's changed the airboxes, he's tried a few different airboxes and exhausts. And, you know, I thought about it, wow, maybe I should order an exhaust and an airbox and go full tilt. And, you know, I'm really not wanting for more power on this bike. I have a BMW 1600 GTL that I talk about all the time. That's a great bike. It's got 160 horsepower. Thing hauls. Do I need that kind of power on this bike? Do I even need any more power than what it has? Not really. You know, to me, rideability is a big thing. So I sent off a couple of emails to Nate, and he came back and he says, look, you know, if you decide you want to add an exhaust later, add an airbox later along with it, you know, we'll give you an ECU Flash for free. Just ship it in, pay shipping, and that's it. So I thought, well, can't lose. Let's just do the stock bike. I haven't seen anybody post videos about having done a stock bike ECU Flash. So I thought, well, that'd be interesting, you know, because there could be people who only want to spend $299, which is what I spent, and normally it was supposed to be $349, and they had it on sale for $299. You know, you can spend $299 and do a nice upgrade on your motorcycle. So that's how this started off. And we're going to look under the seat here in a minute and check things out. I'll explain, you know, what you do, how you remove the unit, and how you put it back in, and a few of the details. And then we'll go on to my experience with the Flash. The way we start this off is you have to remove your seat. Then you can remove these three connectors, which are a little tricky, but it's fairly easy to figure out. If you're brave enough to do this, you should be skilled enough to be able to remove those connectors. When you get the unit back, you will take and reconnect the connectors and drop it back down into the, it has some like little brackets that it snaps onto. It's not bolted in here, it's just, there's just a rubber housing that snaps down onto this thing here. So you can just lift it right out, shove it right back. One thing that is recommended with this ECU Flash, which is the basic, I didn't change anything, I just have a stock bike and I want the ECU flashed. And Wheel Dyno Works recommends that you remove this right here. Now, I've already had this out, so it's a little easier to pull out, but it just snaps down onto a couple of buttons there. But this thing here does nothing but restrict airflow and cut down on noise. Now you will notice a little more intake noise. It wasn't offensive, and you only hear it when you really roll the throttle on hard. So it's not a bad thing. But this allows more air to flow, and the ECU Flash from Wheel Dyno Works actually is calibrated for the removal of the snorkel, and that's what this is called. It's a snorkel. When you get the unit back, just reattach the connectors, drop it down in here. One thing you will notice for the first couple of rides, a check engine light will flash on the LCD, and that's nothing to worry about. I just kind of ignored mine. By the third ride, it was gone. So I don't know if it is based on mileage or how many times you actually ride the thing, or I don't know what causes it to reset. but it reset on its own. So now that we've seen under the seat here, I put the seat back on. The bike really is transformed. It has more torque in the mid-range, probably from about 4,000 to 6,000, 6,500. You can feel it pull a lot harder. It doesn't seem to have much more on the top end. The exhaust really is the restriction here. In fact, Nate told me don't bother installing any kind of an airbox. Just pull the snorkel out like we saw, and that's adequate. And you'll get plenty of airflow for free, basically, just by pulling that snorkel out. And you keep your stock exhaust, and you have a smoother operating motorcycle. So I took it out. I've been out on 3 different rides, put about 500 miles on it at this point. The Explorer mode, to me, in the stock form, I never used it. It sucked. I mean, it felt like it had flat spots in it. You'd go to take off and it was real kind of slow, and then a little faster. It just didn't seem right to me. So I was always riding the bike in sport mode. After the Flash, the Explorer mode is just smooth and linear. It feels like a cable throttle. It feels just like a cable throttle, probably like the cable throttle did on the stock 2024 model and earlier. Explorer mode, for me, is now useful. In fact, I don't use the sport mode anymore. But the sport mode feels the same, only faster. So to me, it's like the Explorer mode is a standard cable throttle that you would get on a dirt bike or something. And it's progressive. You know what you're going to get when you turn the handle. It just feels, natural and great. When you put it in sport mode, it's like having a quick throttle. And I don't know if you've ever taken a standard throttle off of a dirt bike or something and put a quick throttle on there. But a short turn and you're full out. That's what all the racers back in my day tended to want to have, because you don't need, if you're out racing, you're on the throttle all the time anyway, and you just have less motion to get the job done. I don't know if all that makes sense, but basically what you have is you have Explorer mode, feels like a standard cable throttle, very progressive, very nice, and the sport mode is like having a quick throttle. Things just happen faster. So anyway, that's pretty much my experience with the bike. I hit the rev limiter right off the bat in Explorer mode. In stock form, you don't get full throttle in the first, I think, 3 or 4 gears. It's just not there. And the ECU mapping, as it is stock, is intended to pass the Euro 5 plus regulations, which are really harsh. And so they're trying to give you the best performance they can give you while maintaining the standards, the exhaust emission standards for the Euro 5. All right, what are my final thoughts on this Wheel Dyno Works ECU Flash? Is it worth it? $299? You get extra torque where you want it, where you need it. Smoother throttle, an Explorer mode that makes sense, that's actually usable. How can you go wrong? It's fabulous. I really enjoy it. It's transformed the bike for me. I'm just really digging it. Later, if you want to upgrade the exhaust and an airbox, all you do is you send the thing into them. Send them the ECU. They'll flash it, turn it back around. You just pay shipping. That's it. And you can have even more power if you need that. I'm not a wheelie king. I'm not trying to race anybody. I want a bike that's solid and reliable and enjoyable. And this thing, so far, is doing that for me. I'm going to be doing my 2,500 mile review here shortly. The pros and cons. There are a lot more pros than cons, but there are a few things that are kind of niggles for me. that we'll talk about, you know, but that's basically it. I'm very happy with Wheel Dyno Works. Very happy with the job they did on the ECU. It's just a no-brainer, you know, money well spent. So please like and subscribe. It goes a long way to helping me with this project here, trying to get this channel happening. If you're out riding in this cold weather, stay warm. It's cold here. Yesterday, I went out riding Saturday and it was close to 70 degrees. And I think it's about 25 degrees out right now. So I'm not going to be riding here next week. But luckily in Middle Tennessee here, we end up getting quite a few days that are just like rogue. It'll be in the 60s and 70s in the middle of winter. And then it turns back to freezing cold and minus 17 degrees at one point a couple years back. So the weather really goes up and down around here. But anyway, if you're out there riding, be safe, take care, safe riding, everybody. It's been about a week and a half since I've had my ECU reinstalled, done by Wheel Dyno Works. I've already been out on one ride and I've pretty well formed an opinion of how I think they did and what kind of a value that it was. I want to make sure what mode I'm in right now. I'm in Explore mode. Okay. Let's get out of the neighborhood here without falling over. Okay, right now I'm in Explore mode, and I pretty much consider this useless in the way it's shipped. It felt like it had a real dead spot right off idle and was not linear at all. Something that I found out from Wheel Dyno Works is that you weren't able to get full power in the first 3 or 4 gears in Explore mode. I think it was the same in the Sport mode as well, but Explore mode just felt like garbage to me. I'll tell you right now that this Explore mode feels really linear. It feels like a cable throttle. It doesn't feel like it's being tapered off. It's not super progressive. It's not like a quick throttle or something like that. It's just a nice, smooth, predictable throttle. And on the last ride, I used this more than I used the Sport mode, which is saying something because I never used the Explore mode before. So I've been waiting for a day that was over 60 degrees to be able to go out and do a little filming. And I got it today. What is it? 68 degrees. Not bad. It's overcast. Having some trouble with my visor fogging up, but other than that, it's not a bad day to ride. Now, as I roll the throttle on, it feels progressive. I don't feel like it's doing anything weird or like it's a programmed throttle. I'll say that Nate and the guys over at Wheel Dyno Works did a really nice job. I'm really happy with it. Okay, here we go. Yep, that's the rev limiter right there. I got there quick. I thought they pulled the rev limiter out. That's interesting. I'll have to check that out. I was up against a rev limiter. If it comes in right at 95. And they left the rev limiter in place, but they eliminated the speed limit, which according to Nate at Wheel Dyno Works is something you would never hit on this motorcycle anyway. So here we are in sport mode on a little twisty area. You know, it feels like the bike pulls a little harder, especially in the mid-range. To get any more out of the bike, you would need to put a full exhaust on it, get rid of the catalytic converter. At this point, I don't think I need any more power for my use. The bike is fine on the freeway, it's fine on the highway, fine on the twisty roads. Got plenty of power. I've had bikes with twice as much power. In fact, I have one right now, with the BMW 1600 GTO, 160 horsepower. Do I need that kind of horsepower? No. You know, would it be nice on a long trip to have a bigger, heavier, more powerful bike? Sure. But that's not what this bike is for. This is an adventure bike. Yeah, I'm loving this ECU Flash. Well done, Wheel Dyno Works. I think the cruise control's smoother in that the injectors are shut off in the stock ECU Flash every time the throttle is rolled off. So if you think about a cruise control, it's trying to maintain a specific speed. If you start going downhill or going uphill, your speed's going to vary, so your throttle's going to have to go off and on to compensate. So I think it's just a little more refined feeling. Although, you know, this Viridian cruise control's great no matter what. But I just think it's a little smoother with the ECU Flash. So here I am on cruise control, 55, 56 miles an hour, just cruising along. Very nice. Okay, let's kill the cruise control. In fifth gear, 5,500 RPM. That's fast enough.